What's
Welcome
up?
back, though. Glad you're back. Cowboys are getting on the plane. They might be there right now. I don't know.
They are off the plane.
They off the goddamn plane.
They
Okay.
been night. They unpacking.
Uh, they got practice in 2 days. Friday.
Listen, you talking about some, they getting on the
Look. I thought they was. All right. So if you're in the exit row, are you responsible? You need to. I thought they was doing that, but okay, they off the plane. Cool.
They left yesterday.
So we got practice in a couple of days. So we need to give y'all content for a couple of days speculating, because once it starts, all this goes out the window. Once we see who lines up at left tackle and center, once we see the first linebacker that's out there with Eric Kendricks, once we see how your cornerbacks line up, there is no more speculation. Ball game begins.
I'm tired of speculating. I'm ready for the real deal, Holyfield. I'm tired.
Let me ask you a question, Tua.
What?
Do you think? And of course, there's going to be an acclimation period. Of course, there's going to be some elapsed time where things change. There's going to be some drills, some one-on-ones. But do you think that at the end of the day, going into the first regular season game, that there's going to be politics in your offensive line room?
I do think it's a possibility, given the fact that you got, you got rookies filling some important spots, left tackle, center possibly, depending on, and even at that, like Brock Hoffman is a veteran, but he's not a veteran. Like he's a veteran, but he's not like a veteran. So you're still kind of unsure about what that center position is going to look like. So, but with these coaches being on 1-year deals, they ain't got time to be playing around. They ain't got time to be. But I do think if the rookies earn it, they earn it. That's the thing about camp. That I'm hoping that that's the way that it works. I really hope that these guys can come in and solidify those spots, and we can go into the season. Sure, but what you got? What you think?
See,
what you thinking?
We didn't draft a quarterback for a reason,
Fair.
We got one. We ain't draft no free safety. It's just certain positions we just didn't draft. You know what I'm saying? There's reasons why we didn't draft those characters. You know what I'm saying? You drafted one tech because you needed one. You drafted corner because you needed one. So with your premium picks, 1 and your first 3, you draft left tackle and center. I'm only under the impression that we drafted those characters because you needed them. Tyrion Arnold was on the board.
That's fair.
He was on the board. And I was ready to Harlem Shake to get a new coin up in this month. I was like, boy, that's a top 5 player right there on my board, and he's available.
He's a safety.
Tyrion Arnold?
In real life.
Stop. No. That what they say?
Good corner.
That what they say?
Good corner. He'd be a bomb free.
Look, he can play any DB, but my point was, if we best player available and he was there, but we decided to go left tackle because there was need there. We was staring Chuma Adoga in the face. We traded back, got an extra pick, and we drafted center because we needed that. Now all of a sudden, the dude that we got is fine. The left tackle we got is fine. The center we got is fine. That's why I'm calling nonsense on this.
That's fair. I mean, that's a fair assessment. I do think but you didn't draft a left tackle. You drafted a right tackle.
Oh, come on. You better stop it. You quit it.
I'm not going to make a scene.
Quit it. What that mean?
Sorry, I'm just saying. I think it'll be an adjustment period for him. And that's fine. But I do think that one thing that we know about him to this point is that he going to work.
Yeah.
Tyler Guyton, he gonna work. He gonna put the groundwork in.
Joe Looney was a hard worker, boy. Look, Connor Williams ain't never missed a day. You know what I'm saying? But if we rank all of our first round tackles, right, even the ones that we had no hope of acquiring, Tyler Guyton was at the bottom of possible first round tackles for me. If I got, I don't know where my board is, but if I have it, I'll pull it up. But I was already stank facing when I saw that we drafted him, because he even if he has upside to be great, some of the best feet I've ever seen, great athleticism, great size, he don't know how to do that job for real just yet. Now Duke, now Duke Manyweather could change everything. But I hate when I hear Brian Brothers, our good friend Brian Brothers. I hate when I hear people from inside the organization. Oh, Mike Solari hyping up Brock Hoffman. And no disrespect to Brock Hoffman, because he's a podcaster now. But I've been watching his film. I like him too.
Yeah.
But I would like to have a powerful dude next to the other powerful dude next to the other Hall of Fame powerful dude.
Fair.
And I think politics is gonna get in the way of that, just like Tyler Smith was tearing up things at practice. He was tearing up preseason, and I was tapping my watch like, man, when they gonna sit Conor McGovern down because Tyler Smith going crazy? Mm. I just don't want to fall into that same trap.
I hope not. I don't think you're in a position to. I don't think you're in a position to do that. You need to get your run game together. You got a quarterback that needs to be protected because we don't know when he's going to get paid or not, and things like that. I don't think you're in a position to be playing them games.
Sure.
I got to play the best person for the job. And yeah, I mean, I feel very strongly about this, and I know that it sucks for guys like a Hoffman or a TJ Bass or whatever, but like, this is a long season. We see injuries every year now, and having adequate offensive line depth is a luxury, bro. Like, if Brock Hoffman is your backup, luxury. If TJ Bass is your swing guard, luxury. Yeah. If Austin Richards turns out to be a good swing tackle, there's not that many teams who can function when they lose starters on the offensive line. We see it all the time. Even the one that people glorified, like, completely, like, there's just, people struggle. So for me, I'm like, if those are your backup guys and they develop into starters, great. But I don't know. Do you think, since we're speaking on that part, do you think, I think I heard Brian and these guys talking about it, but we had talked about it during the draft. Right now you need a DT.
Yeah.
Do you ransom one of these people? Because Cooper Beebe can do guard stuff.
Sure.
You're hoping he's gonna be your center, but he can do guard stuff. I would project that maybe he could be better than a TJ Bass. But there are plenty of teams around the league that might be happy give you a DT for a TJ Bass.
My only response to that is the DT that you getting back, are they on par or better than Justin Rogers and I keep wanting to call him Carl Lewis. What the name is? Carl Davis. Iowa. Are they better than those characters? Because there's no need to acquire anybody just to come in and compete with those guys.
Right.
And I don't think you're going to get a big fish back for TJ Bass. And in real life, if we could just keep it a buck here, if you look at like One Tech in particular, they kind of going through the same thing that offensive linemen going through. You don't see a whole bunch of O-line trades because there's not a lot of good ones. They're like the good ones you looking for. Yeah, they don't exist. So where are these One Techs that's sitting around? Like go ahead.
We've been seeing that in the draft. We saw that in the draft this year. We saw guys go way higher than expected because One Tech is feeling like, if you got one, you keep them until their knees fall off.
Sure.
And then if you have the opportunity to draft one that could possibly be good, you do. So people was, quote unquote, reaching in this draft for this past draft for One Techs because they are hard to come by these days. So to your point, like, I don't know. I feel like they have to bring in a veteran DT. I think Justin Rogers is going to be serviceable for sure. I think he can play. Did you watch his tape?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think he's a space eater. I think he's smart. I mean, he's not going to flash like that, but you going to see him.
I think he had some games where he was pretty good. Alabama and I want to say Kentucky or something like that. Like he had some really good film to where he was moving a little better than
he can penetrate. Yeah, he can penetrate.
Yeah, punching the hell out of people and all that. So I'm like, all right, Justin Rogers, but once he's on the team, now we got to doom and gloom a little bit because he's here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like if I just think about all the One Techs that's available, like it's not a whole bunch of them. However, there is this piece of me that feels like Quentin Bohanna can do the job for you. And you got him at a very low draft pick. Or people were talking about John Ridgeway, even guys like Antoine Woods and Justin Hamilton, he from Natchez. Antoine Justin Hamilton and all that. Like you can find somebody to do the job.
Right.
It's just that our first round pick didn't really do the job for you last year. So now I think most people's angst about it or whatever is like, all right, it's not like Mozzie's playing for his second season growing under Hankins. Mm-hmm. We rolling the dice and we just gonna go with Mozzie. We're gonna go with Viliami. We gonna go with Brooks and Tolbert. Ain't no bridge. Yeah. They swimming through the water because ain't no bridge. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's so nervous about the whole one tech situation.
No, I agree. That's the only thing about it is like I think some of those guys are going to turn out to be just fine players, but to not have, I mean, technically Carl Davis is a veteran. He's a veteran.
Why'd you pause when you said that? Why didn't you just move on to your next point? Why you pause and look at me when you said that?
Because I was reminding myself. Hell.
Carl Davis been in the league for a little bit. That's fair. You're right.
He's a veteran technically, sure. But I do think you need. I mean, I think the biggest concern too is just, you know, the depth there, the proven depth there, because you look at Philly, Doug, like they got 2 stars at DT, but you know what? They start struggling towards the end of the year because they didn't have a rotation. They didn't have enough guys to come in, so those rookies didn't hit a wall. And so I do think like the rookie wall is real. It happens. Like, I mean, I don't know why people get upset about it, but it does.
Sure.
Especially at that position that has a learning curve. So I think you see them sign somebody. I don't know who it's going to be, but I do think that they should be looking to sign a veteran DT. I would feel better about it.
Linval Joseph is on a motorized walking scooter right now, and he's still available. He's still around. And Ndamukong Suh gonna limp into somebody's locker room, but he's available. He's around. You know what I'm saying? Do any of these gentlemen help you? And look, honestly, that's the same conversation we're having about running back too. Like, we'll find Jeff Wilson, and then we'll go, is Jeff Wilson the best running back in your room? And we actually thinking about it. There's actually a debate here, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of time to sign people, of course. I just want, if the Cowboys going to sign somebody, I want them to sign them now. I don't want to get to week 5. We lost 2 games, trade deadline, and now we're going to take this serious. We're going to sign someone taking running back. Please.
I agree. I'd rather them take care of it sooner than later. We know. Yeah. But I think if it won't be super late into camp though. I think it'll be after maybe the first, second week, they start looking at movement, seeing things, whatever the case may be. You know who's in shape, who's not. And then, you know, they make some decisions. So, or it might be the week after they put the pass on. We'll see. But it does feel necessary. I don't know. It feels necessary to me. You don't think they need to bring in a DT?
Hell yeah, but how? Where they at? What there's some hoes in this house. Where they at?
No, that's fair. That you like, okay, I hear y'all, but who?
Yeah. Like there's many running backs if you need one. There's many wide receivers if you need one. I don't know I don't know what aisle you find the one text on. That's my whole thing about it.
Not what aisle. Okay, that's fair.
I want to run this by you. Because I'm a podcaster, right? I'm going to double back to a topic to segue into this one because I'm curious about this one. I want to go back to Guyton and BB real fast. What if they saw something? Because we're high on BB and higher on Guyton than Truman and Hoffman, right? What if they saw something that would allude to them or that would make them feel like those 2 players just aren't good and they aren't ready yet, right? Because it could be, you know, team politics. We don't want the rookies to move too fast. It could be that. But why is Brevin Spanford and guys like Maris Lewifau able to run with the ones, but Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe aren't? Did you hear what I said? Why? Why is that the case? Why your linebacker and your tight end can run with the ones, but your left tackle and your center can't? What's going on? Why? Why is that?
What's the other position? You said Brevin Spanford and who else?
Maris Lewifau, linebacker and tight end.
Well, I mean, if we're being logical, it's a good question. However, It is. It's a good question, but I think with the linebacker situation, I think Maris is running because Demo hasn't been able to be out there fully because he's clearly coming back from ACL.
Mm-hmm.
And with what was the other person? Was it Brevin Spanford?
Brevin Spanford.
Schoolmaker was hurt.
What about the other characters that's out there?
Well, Schoolmaker was not off to the side during OTAs and minicamp. So that's probably why Brevin was in there.
Would you at least say that they trust Louisville more than they trust Clark and they trust Brevin more than they trust Hendershot?
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. Or they're interested. Possibly. Brevin Spanford is interesting.
He's so good.
He just looks different than everybody else.
270.
He's huge.
He's so big.
He's huge. Such a willing blocker, but I think he can do some things in the receiving game. I think he got some wiggle. He can use his athleticism in space. I'm interested to see what this tight end room becomes and what it looks like. But with Marist, I think this team, linebacker-wise, is looking to get faster and more decisive. And and as far as Marist goes, they have a lot of respect for his IQ. A lot of respect for his IQ and the way that he plays the game and in the processing. So, I mean, one thing we heard from Malik Hooker. Malik Hooker said is like, "Hey, dude, you not getting it. You getting off the field."
Yeah, like Maris, I haven't seen him, but I'm just hearing that he's really impressive. He's like a junior green dye guy. So if anything was to happen to Kendricks, like he knows all the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And you know, I was talking to a source in the building that's been you know, chopping it up with Zim and whatnot, and Zim is just I was talking to Brian Brown. I was just talking to Brian Brown, and Zim was like blown away at the IQ and all that. And my favorite linebackers are the ones that like see it. I love athleticism and all that, but if we talking about what makes you Sean Lee, what makes you Kuechly, what makes you Wagner, it's your processing. Fred Warner, it's your processing. And neither of those dudes are athletes like Mike or anything like that, but they see it and they get there because they get it. So if Louisville can see it, maybe there can be this world where, all right, cool, when we in these passing packages or whatever, we going dime, those are your two covered linebackers because they you know, they just do it the best. But where does DeMarvion full-time fit in this thing? Because they are excited about Louisville and they're going to play more linebacker, but the world's going to make you play nickel. You know what I'm saying? Just 11 personnel. Where does Demo and Clark fit? Just tell me about Demo. Don't tell me about Clark. But where does Demo fit?
Well, with Demo, we were literally just talking about this on the Twitter space. Do you think he's going to be your Sam?
I don't think Sam exists in real life for real. And when they was talking to him in the locker room, Calvin Watkins asked him, "Hey, you gonna be playing the Sam?" And Demo was like, "Nah, I'm the Will. Clark is the Sam."
Tracking.
He said that. So I'm like, all right, cool, bet. So first of all, that says he's the Will, but second, that says, okay, they are playing some Sam. But then the other team gonna go into 11 and that's gonna make you change. But what that ultimately means is that your Sam comes off, Demo and your Mike stays on, or whoever's playing Will and your Mike stays on. So that just means Demo's probably gonna be playing more than Clark. Go ahead.
No, I agree. I agree. And another thing too, you mentioned the nickel about Demo, former safety, got that background, and I think that's gonna matter. I don't know what you thought about Marist in Louisville in coverage, but I thought he showed some coverage ability as well. So if you don't have to substitute your linebackers out in coverage set, you cooking with gas. That's a blessing, you know. So I do think to that point, that's gonna matter when we're having the conversation of who's on the field more. But Demo and his length and him being able to, you know, just if he's gonna be doing Will stuff and let him kind of run free and do some things, I think that'll be good for how he likes to play football, flying around and such. What you think?
Well, let me say this about Louisville. When I was watching him at Notre Dame, they asked him to do too much, in my personal opinion.
I agree.
He played 3 linebackers. He played nickel. He played strong. He'll drop in deep third sometimes. He'll pass rush. I'm like, man, y'all asking Maris to do a whole bunch. So I think where his weird cover grades come from, because he got some weird cover grades, you need context. they'll throw his ass at nickel sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll throw him at like free sometimes, strong. But I think covering as a linebacker, if you just focus on him covering as a linebacker, him blitzing or just rushing as a linebacker, I think he has really good coverage grades because he understands it and he's not slow. I ain't saying nobody else mentally slow, but he gets it and he can anticipate routes really well. So what I think is going to happen, I do think that we're going to run more multiple linebacker looks.
I agree.
In an attempt to kind of deal with the run. I think you're going to have to see Damone Clark. Mm-hmm. He's a veteran.
Yeah.
There's that V word again. But I think Clark would be better if Eric Kendricks is telling him what to do. Hey, counter's there.
I agree. I've been saying that.
Sure.
One thing that I think has been a detriment to his start is the fact, well, first of all, midway through last year, me and him were talking and I was like, dang, this is like your rookie year. In a sense, you know? And we know linebacker is not, it takes time to learn everything that comes with linebacker. It's a complicated position. So I do think that the lack of veteran leadership, or kind of the revolving door, to be honest, at linebacker that's been going on has been helpful to somebody like Damone Clark. So I'm hoping that getting with Kendricks is going to help him grow. And also too, when dudes around you have that temperament that the majority of all of them have, where they're not hesitant and things like that, I think that's going to rub off on him even more so he can play fast. Yeah. But I do think that he plays better when he's closer to the line of scrimmage.
Voch says this. I remember watching you, some of your great work. When Demo got drafted, it was like day 3 and y'all do all the interviews prior to day 3 starting. And one of the scout characters, the head of Walmart scouts, so whichever one it was a lot of them, but he was like, we're really excited about Demo and we want to pass rush with him also. And if you listen to him say that, it makes Demo, it makes him sound like a Sam linebacker, which goes to your point.
Yeah, that's what fair.
Which goes to your point. So in my mind, maybe Demo's playing both, possibly. When it's more of a 3 set, he's playing some Sam. I'm just trying to figure out who comes off the field when what happens. Demo may be he may be better moving forward. Luafau may be better than him going backwards. So maybe that's where like some of your rotation stuff is going to come from. I know Kendricks is going to be on the field, and I don't know what's going to happen with Clark. But at the end of the day, I do think your linebacker room this year is better than your linebacker room last year. There's no 205-pound characters in your room, and Marquise Bell played well, but he's a 205-pound character playing linebacker. Go cover, go run. So I do think your linebacker room is going to be much better than it was last year.
Speaking of, I wonder where he fits.
All right, so this is one on my list. Let's do this. Let's talk about how weird this is about to be. Because I asked everybody else, and look, you the expert, right? Zimmer's going to run a lot of too high.
Right.
He's going to. Much more than Quinn has. That cover one, you walking me down, that robber shit, it's going to happen sometimes, but you're going to have to play deep halves here.
Right.
Donovan can do it. He can do it.
Shut up, bud.
Marquise Bell technically can do it. But those dudes are so much better when they get downhill and they tackle and they're playing tough and they're physical. They're great run game safeties.
I agree.
When we got to play halves, you got one strong safety that's real good at playing halves.
Who was that?
And he can do some of the other shit that y'all do because he's a good tackler too.
Who was that?
Man, it's Wanye season, ain't it?
It is.
Ain't this Wanye season?
I agree. I agree. That 2-high safety, I think, is going to be Malik Hooker and Wanye Thomas. I think they are the most rangy out of all of those guys that can go hash to hash. And do it where it's like, hey man, you start just flinging that ball around, I'm gonna punish you too. Like I think Wanye have some, he has that attitude to him too. I agree. I mean, quite honestly, Israel Mukuamu might have a role if he comes out in camp and shows some good things. I think he has the capability to be rangy as well. This is a former corner we're talking about.
Sure. I think at some point you got to follow the money. That's what they're gonna tell you, right? You got to follow the money, and you know, Donovan just got a bag too. He just got a little bread. I don't know if you try to introduce some linebacker reps to him, but Zimmerman already came out and said, "Hey, we ain't doing this sub 215-pound linebacker shit no more. We ain't doing it anymore. 230 plus at least."
Shut up.
So I don't. Zim does have history of running like some 3 safety looks, because at one time he had 3 safeties or whatever. So I don't think this is much about taking Donovan off the field.
Oh, not at all.
This is a lot of Wanye's about to play a bunch more because he's good at that.
I agree.
You know, to your answer your question. I don't know what the hell you do with Marquise Bell, who's a twin of Donovan Wilson. They're twins. Julian Wood, he played like them.
Me too. And he's one of my favorites too. So I really was like,
yeah, these downhill tough safety guys. I ain't saying that their job is easy or anything like that, but their job is different than the rangy dude.
It's different. Yeah.
It's different. And
I mean,
you know,
2 different positions. Hell.
Yeah, man. People think I've been hating on Donovan and Marquise, man. I'm just trying to figure out where they fit.
It's not an insult. I mean, honestly, too. I mean, if you do go big nickel and you do want to have a safety on the field, I think that Marquise Bell can definitely man that Jaron Curse type spot as well. But here's the thing, though, is I still think that there's so many. The way that Zim plays defense, it's very situational. It's one of my favorite things about him is that he plays the matchup game. He will look at what you got over there, and he gonna change up some things the next week for what he has to go against. So these guys, depending on, the offense that they're playing, they might still see the field. They probably will still see the field. So it's not like, oh, we just not gonna see this guy no more, or he gonna get cut or anything. It's just, hey, his role might look different. You might not see him on the field as much.
Sure.
And people are going to have to understand that because, it's a different system. So it is going to be different, though, because we're used to seeing strong safeties. Those are what strong safeties have become. Strong safety became so valuable to this team because of the run defense and the big nickel and stuff that we literally have one free on our dang roster for 2 years.
That's crazy. Malik Hooker.
You remember there was no depth behind Malik Hooker.
Sure.
I don't know if there is now. I mean, besides Wanye.
If something happens to Malik, it'll probably be Wanye. Some people say Izzy, but I need to see Izzy do something.
I agree. But that's why this system to me is going to give him the opportunity to show some of the things he can do, because in Dan Quinn's system, it was hard to find a fit for him.
Sure.
Personally, it was hard to find a fit for him. Like, that's what I thought. So yeah, the safety room is going to be interesting. It's one of the rooms that I'm looking at the most, to be honest.
Speaking of Dan Quinn just messing everything up.
No.
You ain't say that.
Don't make a scene.
You ain't say that because you might have to talk to him and get an interview or something. I don't know. But I do think Dan is going to ask people to do different stuff. And that's going to give them opportunities to do better. We just talked about Wanye. Wanye is going to be asked to do something that he's good at. I think that's going to help him. Do you think Mozzie and Chauncey Golston are going to benefit from stacking and shedding more? Breaking down blocks is what they call it. You know what I'm saying? Do you, instead of penetrating gaps, trying to pass rush, because Viliami can't just penetrate gaps no more. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets down. We have a lot of mismatched pieces in this whole room.
I'm keeping an eye on him too. He's a big fish.
Do you think that shedding blocks, breaking down blocks, stacking and shedding, punching, relocating, not necessarily two gapping, but do you think that that'll benefit Mozzie and Chauncey's play style?
Yeah, I do think that them being given a role and that's it is going to be helpful for them. Chauncey don't deserve this. Y'all gonna make me mad. Y'all gonna make me mad because Chauncey was one of the best run stopping edges coming out of college. So sound. And what they have done trying to make him whatever the hell is frustrating to me. And I think that's where versatility to me can be harmful to some of these players' careers.
Mm.
Like, you want them to be really versatile, but you haven't just carved out a role for them or designated a role for them so they can perfect it. These players like to master their craft, and he hasn't been able to master anything because you got him doing all this different stuff.
Sure.
And so I'm like, yeah, I do think for Mozzie specifically, I've seen a couple of his interviews, and he sounds a lot more confident about what Zimmer is asking him to do. I'll say that. I do think that he seems more confident in that. And with Golston and Fioco and those guys, Fioco, he better be doing whatever the hell they say to do at this point. Like, we're looking for him to take a step this year, clearly. But Chauncey, give him a role. I don't know how he's not going to be playing edge. You still need an edge opposite of Tank that's going to stop the run. Still.
I thought that was going to be Chauncey, but Chauncey playing 3-tech?
Stuff because they don't have enough DTs.
3-tech Chauncey.
It's going to be a problem for me.
And he's one of the biggest people I've ever seen, but I don't know if he's like, is he currently big enough to play 3-tech? Like, what are you doing with his body? I don't know.
I think he is. He keeps his body tight. He put on that size. He hasn't really changed it, but I was really hoping he was going to go back to edge, man.
Yeah.
I really was. I was hoping for his career's sake that he was able to go back to edge, because to your point earlier when we were talking about DT, there's been a precedent set for, like, we're seeing so many more tweeners.
Yeah.
At the DT position. But now I think we saw enough in the playoffs last year that if a team want to go ground and pound, that's a problem. It wasn't just the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. It was other teams too. You got them little tweeners and lighting ass, 3-techs and stuff. You getting pushed around because people running the ball in the playoffs. So I do think that, you not being a true 1-tech, I think there's too many 3-techs at this point. So him getting another contract, which I think this is his last year on his contract, you're hurting this person's career. I'm sorry, I went on a tangent, but that's the type of stuff I think about. It's like, yo.
And it's,
hoorah, but.
Then it's interesting. Simile cousin, he was actually one of the, hey, play like you hurt guys last year. Like, he was on a roster for like a day. And then it was like, Junior Fehoko out for the season. His pinky hurt. I'm like, why they using the fake out for the season injury? Because the Cowboys do that. I'm like, why they using the fake out for the season injury on Simile? Cuz like what's going on with him?
Calling them Simile.
That's a name, ain't it?
They ain't cousins.
Listen, they is cousins. They said they cousins, ain't it?
They said that.
Yeah, that's unless. Hold on.
Ain't nobody said that, man.
They did say, no. Sammy is junior cousin, and Maris is Puka cousin.
Okay, well, yeah, Maris is Puka cousin, but I don't
Puka Tutu and nothing of them.
I don't think Timmy and Junior are cousins.
Let me find out they got Polynesian people named. Let me find out they got Polynesian people named nothing Puka and Tutu and Nana and Man. Polynesian man is crazy.
I was about to say,
but they got Polynesian Puka. Come on now. Let me ask you this. I found out 5 minutes ago at the gym. The shit happened yesterday. Michael Gallup retired.
Wow.
At a later date, we'll talk about his last season of the Cowboys, and I'll talk about it myself. They'll cancel me. Don't worry about it. You ain't got to be involved in that. But Michael Gallup retired at the age of like 28 or something like that. Mm-hmm. We don't have to get into his career or anything like that. I just want to talk about the responsibilities that's left over here. Mm-hmm. Now you got a group of 4 receivers that's kind of stepping up, kind of, sort of.
Right.
5 if you add Jalen Cropper, because there's 3 Jalens in this bitch.
I noticed him.
Yeah.
I noticed him. Listen.
Was like Fresno or one of them California schools? Where he go?
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Fresno. The feet, the releases, like he stood out.
Teams guy, yeah. Return guy, yeah.
Yeah, he just stood out. Like, you know, when you looking at guys when they're route running, you definitely look at how natural they look, but it's like, how quickly are you coming out of your break? Like how much wasted movement is there in your routes?
Sure.
That baby ain't got that much.
Yeah.
That baby ain't got that much. So he's still want to keep an eye on for sure. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you good. Shit, we talk. It's podcast. So, you know, there's no rules or regulations here. We ain't got to take turns on podcast. You can rant all you want. So one thing I've been saying to the audience is like, all right, man, whoever the next receiver is, all they got to do is be better than somebody that got benched in the middle of the season, somebody that seemed checked out, that seemed recovering from an injury. Gallup had a lot going on.
Right.
So if you're Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks, Jalen Cropper, Jalen Turpin, whatever that, if you either one of them, Jalen Flournoy, if you're either one of those receivers,
that is not that man's name.
all you got to do is be better than a checked out, retiring, recovering from injury Michael Gallup.
Right.
So one, do you think that player can be better than a recovering cut in bench in the middle of the season Michael Gallup? And which one of these guys is going to be the one to do it?
I think Jalen Tolbert takes the 3 spot, y'all. Like, I think we're overcomplicating it a little bit.
Are we though?
I do. I think it's being overcomplicated a little bit. I do think a guy like a Flournoy is going to. I've seen him on a couple of like lists, like, hey, keep an eye out for this rookie, whatever. I do think he can make some flashes and stuff like that. Let me see who else I got.
Flournoy going on practice squad, man. Come on. Huh? Flournoy ain't finna make the team, man. Come on.
You agree? You think so?
I don't think Flournoy is making the team.
Okay.
I think you have your big 2 guys, and Ferguson is technically your wide receiver 3, but he's tight end 1, so we ain't gonna mention him. So you got your 2 guys. You got Tolbert and Brooks, and Turpin. They've been trying to get Turpin involved in the offense for years, but I do think he's one of your more bursty, quick, explosive players. So that puts you at 5 receivers. You think Flournoy makes the room 6?
I think you are lacking a big body physical receiver. And if you're going to choose between Flournoy and Racey McMath, you're going to pick Flournoy.
That's a crazy name, boy. Racey McMath. How big is Jalen Brooks? Is he not a bigger body than him?
Jalen Brooks he's a
longer body?
Long body, not a big body. He's strong, yes, but he's not and he can do red zone things for you. I think
that's your X right there.
Oh no, yeah, I think he can be a really good X. If Jalen Brooks, I think Jalen Brooks does have the opportunity, because one thing about Jalen Brooks is, like, he can play special teams too, and that just matters.
Sure.
Like, it just matters. So it's like, okay, he has a better shot of making the team. I do think Jalen Tolbert laces up that 3 spot. I'm just being honest with you. And if Brooks is your 4, then yeah, he's shown that he can do some things. They trusted him enough to put him in last year during games, and this is a rookie. This is not only a rookie, this is a late round rookie. So clearly they see some things in him, but I really do think that you're gonna notice Flournoy.
What's up with? And look, you inside the building, so you know better than me. What's up with this David Durden character? Like I've been seeing like campaigning about him.
They like him. That's all I got.
That's the white one, right? That's the white one.
Yeah.
That's the white. Okay. Well, where his film at? Didn't he go like to South Florida Community College or something like where he what do he do?
It's just I listen. It's just we saw some flashes of him last year though.
Flash what?
In training camp, in preseason.
Man, everybody flash at camp, man.
That's fair.
Andy Jones somewhere right now talking about how good he was at camp. Like, come on now.
I think they just like his. I think they like his speed and some of his suddenness and some of that stuff. I gotta see it. I haven't seen a whole bunch to get me hoorah rah about it, but.
TJ Vasher still here?
No, that's basically who Racey McMath is.
Racey is. I ain't never heard of Racey. Like, what school he play for? I don't know him. Wait, where he come from? Yeah, Ricky.
I don't have my I don't have my sheet.
I'll Google it. Don't worry about it. But Racey McMath. I mean, I've seen it on paper, but like since we're having a conversation about it,
You gotta have like they're not
They
gonna.
like him.
He's interesting. He's interesting. Big body, high point the ball, red zone. That's what I'm saying. Like they're never gonna get away from feeling like they need to have at least one or two of those guys on the roster.
See, because that's where you way better than me. You will see something and like research it, but I'll see the name Racy McMath and going, man, I'm not looking at this person until I see something, until I hear something. You know what I'm saying?
I have to know, but it's just he's yeah. I think that they're gonna want to have a red zone guy.
Racy McMath played for the Titans last year. Okay, cool. I'll watch a little bit of him. I'll watch him, or 2 years ago. I'll watch him and, see what the business is. But either way, I don't think Racy McMath factors in this conversation that we're having right now about the next Gallup dude. I think I do think it's probably going to be a combination of Tobin and Brooks. Go ahead.
It's going to be Brooks or Flournoy.
Tobin or Flournoy?
No, I said it's gonna be Brooks or Flournoy
for the fourth guy.
For the
Gallup role, for the Gallup role guy.
Gallup role guy. Yeah. Flournoy has yak ability, and so he can do some things. I'm sorry to say, I don't know. Like,
I'll be looking for it.
Just pay attention. I guess. I mean, I'm only going by what I read, and
you said it first, and Dak does make these guys look better at practice than I guess they kind of are. We're gonna learn when Trey Lance throwing these guys the football.
That's what I'm ready for.
You know what I'm saying? Because in the past seasons we could barely get a good look at these guys because backup quarterback was always so bad.
Let me tell you something.
Por favor,
yeah, I think preseason is gonna be big for numerous positions, but I think I'm ready to see. I personally think that Trey Lance is going to take that 2 spot. Mm-hmm. I think he has the capability now. I do understand that he's still developing.
Is he going to politic his way into the quarterback 2 spot, or is it like,
no?
What, you going to win it? What, you going to steal it?
No, I think his upside, he just has more upside. And if he's healthy, you'll be able to see that. And I do think, during preseason and when they're running with the 2s and stuff, his athletic ability is going to allow him to make things happen.
Yeah.
Allow some of these guys to shine. So, I mean, yeah, it depends. I think it depends. If you want to be safe, you stick with
Cooper Rush.
You stick with him. But if you like, okay, well, we're hoping that he has some upside and he can do some things maybe like later in the season. Yeah.
Trey is much more talented than Cooper Rush for sure. Like there's no question about that. But it does cut like quarterback is a lot of shit that comes with quarterback or whatever. So
Facts. Safe. Cooper is definitely the safer pick. I'll say that.
Chill out, man. We can't bring that to my podcast. Chill out, man.
What I do?
Okay, I'll ask you later. I ask you if this is what you meant. But anyway,
moving on. I'm just saying, we've seen Cooper Rush win games for you already.
Because it's a lot of people just maybe they sick of Cooper Rush because he's been here so long and they're just trying to see something new and there's some new light in Trey Lance maybe.
It's just but you should be looking to get better at the position. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna make a scene.
Trey Lance is probably going to Trey Diggs is probably gonna be on PUP probably most likely. He's probably gonna start this whole thing on PUP. So are you optimistic at the idea that Nashawn or Eric are gonna step up and do something positive, or you just think we need to go sign Gilmore and give him his number back?
I'm pretty sure they still have Gilly on speed dial if necessary. But I will say, Nashawn, listen, I know it's been years, so people decide what they think about a player at some point in time. But I will say that they tested him quite a bit in minicamp and stuff at OTAs, and he didn't back down. Mm-hmm. And have trouble staying stride for stride with Brandon Cooks and stuff coverage. And so I think he know what time it is, clearly. So I think he's gonna battle, y'all. I'm not taking that away from him. I'm just, that's just me. I'm not taking away the opportunity that he's gonna battle for that spot. Now we don't even know what the hell Eric Scott is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't know, because one thing that I saw about him on tape is that he was good in man. He was sticky. He could mirror well, all that stuff. But when he got here, he struggled when they started doing some of his own concepts and having him playing off and stuff like that. That was something they wanted to work on with him. So, and Zim's system requires a lot of that.
Yeah.
So this team isn't going to be running man as much as they were before. So he fit the other scheme. And so I don't know what's going to come of that, to be honest. I do know that Kalen Carson,
he fits this shit perfect. Kalen Carson fits what the hell Zim trying to do perfectly.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
Kalen going to come in there and play some good football. But yeah, that's a battle to keep an eye on. And if it's looking ugly, hello, Mr. Gilmore. We're sorry we took so long.
And Gil is just going to give one word answer. No. Yes. I'm ready. How much? 21. Thank you. That's how Gilly talk, man. He gonna talk just like that. Hey, Gil, man. It's good to have you back. We here. Hey, Gilly, what do you think is going on with the cornerback market around the league, and how much money do you think that you can take from it? Yes.
Y'all don't do
That's how Gilly. That's how he talk. Phil Will still met him at the mall in Frisco. He talked one word answers. That's it. That's what he do.
Yeah, he just calm. That's all. Calm. Y'all leave him alone. He is gonna be like, no.
Will not.
You're going to jail, bro.
Camp.
You're going to jail.
Hey, man, this was fun. This was fun too. You're doing incredible work here. I'm sure everybody in my audience knows exactly who you are, but it's Iisha Morrison from.
Are we on live?
No, we've been live this whole time.
This whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, there's people in the comments?
Yeah, I haven't pulled no comments up. Nah, this ain't. I'm recording it, but I'm gonna put it out like immediately or whatever. But everybody knows who you are. You're a superstar around here. So I'm grateful that you blessed us with your presence today. Swati Cop, thank you.
Of course. Girls Talk Boys Talk starts back on Friday at 5 p.m. Central Time, and then we'll be on every other day during training camp. So come see us, and football's here. It came very quickly.
Well, we'll be looking forward to your work. We all got things that we're working on in this season. So hey man, tap in with everybody. We're doing some great work here. Iisha Morrison on Twitter.
Yes, that's me. Iisha with 2 I's.
2 Iisha, not Lisa, not Lisha, not Lachey.
Hard out here for a pen.
Y'all hold down with the dose. Wolves and peace. Till next time, man. Peace.